Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday morning, April the 10th. The main action over the next few days will be across the eastern half of the nation. A strong cold frontal system will produce quite a bit of rainfall over the next couple of days throughout the eastern states and really throughout the eastern half of the nation. It does turn somewhat cooler as we begin the upcoming weekend for the northeastern quadrant of the nation, but typical this time of the year, the cool shots are short-lived. It turns rather nice again in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. By the time we get to Sunday and Monday, there is another Pacific Ocean storm that will impact California, probably during the Sunday-Monday time period. And while the cold air outbreaks are certainly diminishing, there certainly looks to be some more cold air masses that we'll have to deal with over the next couple of weeks in the northern U.S. Let's start off here by looking at the 5-day total precipitation outlook depicted by last night's zero-Z run of the GFS. And again, the main action here across the eastern half of the nation. This is the total precipitation amounts between this morning, Wednesday morning, and Monday morning, the next 5 days. A lot of this associated with the strong cold frontal systems that we'll kind of focus in on over the next few minutes, and out across California, yet another Pacific Ocean storm. Looks like it will impact the West Coast Sunday into Monday. Well, let's walk through the 500 millibar height anomaly forecast maps. We have this strong ridge of high pressure that's kind of been the dominant player across the eastern third of the nation over the last couple of days. It is going to lose control over the next couple of days as this area kind of consolidates into one large upper level low, and it will bring a fair amount of rainfall to the eastern half of the nation. So let's push forward here from this morning, Wednesday morning, and again we'll see the kind of consolidation of this upper level system to the north with the upper level system to the south. This is by late tomorrow, and indeed there'll be strong winds generally from the south or southwest direction ahead of this cold front as it slides across the Ohio Valley towards the eastern seaboard later tomorrow into the day on Friday. Here we go into Friday morning, and by this time one solid upper level low situated right over the Ohio Valley. Again, kind of a rainy pattern here setting up for much of the day. And Thursday night into the day on Friday, maybe a strong thunderstorm or two throughout the eastern part of the nation and the Ohio Valley as well. Then we'll get into the early part of the upcoming weekend, and a cooler air mass does pour into the northeastern states. Not cold, but certainly cooler. Yesterday we had high temperatures flirting with the 80-degree mark in much of the mid-Atlantic region. Certainly by the time we get to the weekend, it'll be a little bit different with high temperatures probably in the upper 50s to lower 60s for Saturday. Places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, all of which flirted with that 80-degree mark yesterday afternoon. But right on its heels, another upper level ridge starting to strengthen over the middle of the nation. And indeed, as is typical this time of the year, cold air shots tend to be short-lived, really shorter and shorter-lived across the northeastern part of the nation. This is all the way out to Sunday. And here comes that Pacific Ocean storm, at least the upper level low associated with that Pacific Ocean storm. So not quite done with the low-lying rain and higher elevation snows yet in California. Yet another Pacific Ocean storm Sunday into Monday. Now, we talked about the cold air outbreak. Certainly we're starting off with a lot of above normal conditions, especially relative to normal, focused over at New England here on midweek, Wednesday, April 10th. We'll move forward here and we'll see this cold shot coming in. It stays quite mild here into the day on Friday. Then a cold front passes, and colder than normal air mass does pour into the Great Lakes, the Midwest, and then the eastern states. By the time we get to late Friday night, it turns colder Friday night, probably down into the 40s in the big cities along the I-95 corridor region of the Mid-Atlantic. On Saturday, we start off the weekend colder than normal conditions across the Mid-Atlantic region. Yeah, we're talking about high temperatures probably in the upper 50s to low to mid 60s. D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, not bad, but certainly not as mild as what we had yesterday or the next couple of days. But right on its heels, a lot of warming centered over the middle part of the nation and the western, the Rocky Mountain states by the time we get to the first part of the upcoming weekend. And here we go. That California storm has a lot of colder than normal air associated with it. It impacts California Sunday into Monday. Now let's keep moving forward just to see that, yes, indeed, there will be some more cold air shots to deal with as we move forward. Now this is all the way out to the middle of next week, a week away from right now. This is next Wednesday, April 17th. Here comes a lot of colder than normal air across southwestern Canada into the interior western states, and some of that works its way across the eastern part of the nation. It'll be quite a strong frontal system here, middle or latter part of next week, right across in this particular time frame, the northern Mississippi Valley region, central and northern Mississippi Valley region. This is next Thursday night. Then we move forward here into the end of next week, and indeed there is certainly still some cold air masses here. This is about a week and a half away. A week from this Sunday. We're talking about way out there now, about 10 days in advance here from today, April 21st. Colder than normal air, and we go out a little farther in time. We see it really becomes quite impressive colder than normal air mass here, all the way out about 2 weeks from right now here, if you can believe this model. And this is out there in the speculation phase, but the main point I want to make is not quite done yet with the cold air outbreaks. It looks like over the next couple of weeks there'll be certainly another shot or two of colder than normal air for the northern U.S. to deal with over the next couple of weeks. Well, let's wrap up with the surface forecast maps. A few scattered showers in the northeastern states, not only this morning but this afternoon and tonight. But the main time period for rainfall coming up with this strong cold front for the mid-Atlantic region will be later tomorrow night into the day on Friday. A lot of rainfall down here across southeastern Texas with an organized low pressure area. And here we go into the day on Thursday. We'll notice right here a kind of a stiffening of the winds here on Thursday out of the south or southwest. It certainly becomes quite windy on Thursday out ahead of this strong cold frontal system. That surface low moves from eastern Texas up into the Midwest over the next 24 hours or so. And here comes the possibility of numerous showers moving towards the mid-Atlantic region of the northeast U.S. later into tomorrow night, and that will also include the possibility of a strong thunderstorm or two. The cold front now working its way slowly across the Ohio Valley into the eastern third of the nation. By the time we get to Friday, it kind of comes through in a couple of different stages. There's one cold frontal system lying right here early Friday, and then a kind of a secondary frontal system right here late Friday. And that certainly ushers in some noticeably colder air. We can even see some snow upstate New York, snow shower activity by late Friday night going into Saturday morning. Upstate Pennsylvania, strong northwesterly flow, noticeably cooler conditions late Friday night into Saturday, northeastern part of the nation. But by the time we get to Saturday morning, we already have southwest flow across the middle of the nation. A big warm-up starts to push north and east out of the south central states into the northern plains, the upper Midwest, and that works its way into the eastern states. By the time we get to Sunday, there is a little bit of a system we'll have to watch out for. It could kind of throw a monkey wrench into the current forecast, current outlook for a pretty nice Sunday in the Mid-Atlantic region. We'll monitor that, but it does turn milder by the time we get to Sunday and Monday in the Mid-Atlantic region. This is the Monday forecast map, and probably a pretty nice day here in the Mid-Atlantic region, and certainly throughout much of the western and central part of the nation. Let's backtrack just a little bit just to show one last feature here. This is now Sunday afternoon again. Again, another Pacific Ocean storm pushes some precipitation into California. Sunday, Monday time frame. Not as strong as some of the storms we've had to deal with out in that part of the nation over the last several weeks, but a little bit more snow in those higher elevation locations and more rain in the low-lying areas. So the main action over the next 2 or 3 days will be in the eastern half of the nation, where strong low pressure moves from Texas to the upper part of the Midwest, and a strong cold front sweeps east from the middle part of the nation to the eastern seaboard by the time we get to Friday evening or so, and ushers in a cooler air mass for later Friday night into Saturday morning for the northeastern part of the nation. That's it for now. For ArcFieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.